Okay, this video is going to be for people who are in their 20s but feel lost and feel like they don't know where their life is going or what they should do with their life. I am 22, my name is Lynn. Hello, nice to meet you. I have also been in your position. About 8 months ago, I decided to move from Belgium to Spain, to Valencia, and I decided to move to this other country without having a plan. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to work, if I was going to study, if I was going to stay for a long time or not. I didn't know. But what I knew was that I was pretty lost. So let me give you a little background. So in Belgium, I had been studying a bachelor's degree for 3 years. I studied translation and interpreting in Belgium because when I chose to study this, I actually was also pretty lost. So let's go a little further into the past. When I was 18, I graduated from high school just like every other normal person. And yeah, at that age, you need to decide if you're going to study, what you're going to study. And I literally had no idea what I wanted to study. I looked up a lot of information about what studies I could do in my city or like in Belgium, and there were just so many options. And like I was choosing during a few days, and I literally didn't know yet what I wanted to do, but it was time to make a decision because the next academic school year was going to start. So I had to make a decision. So what did I do? I asked my mom for advice. And well, my mom had also studied languages. So her advice was just study languages, because she told me that later when you have this degree, you can do actually many different things in many different sectors. Okay, so I decided to follow my mom's advice. And I decided to study a bachelor's degree, translation and interpreting. During those 3 years, I studied as much as possible. I worked as much as possible because I wanted to obtain a certain grade. And of course, after those years of hard work, I obtained the grades and I was pretty happy. But during my studies, during the bachelor's, I actually already knew that I didn't want to become a translator or an interpreter because I liked studying languages. I liked what I did, but I didn't like the fact that I would be translating during 8 hours a day. There are people who really like it and who are really... That's a bus on the street, I'm sorry. So there are people who are really passionate about translating, but I just knew that it was not for me because translating or interpreting didn't really give me energy. I felt like I was losing energy while I was doing it. So I decided to finish my degree, and I actually didn't have a plan after my degree. So what I did is, during my studies, I decided to do some student jobs. I decided to do student jobs that were not even my passion or that I was not really interested in. For example, I was a waitress in several places, but like I really liked the fact that I had gained a lot of work experience in fields that weren't really my interests, because that way I knew what I was interested in and what I was not interested in. So I don't see it as a loss of time. I see it as gained experience. So the jobs I tried were waitress in several restaurants and bars. So a life lesson I had learned from working those several student jobs is that you really need to decide what you want in life and that you are responsible for the life you create. Because many people start a job and they think, oh, it's a safe job, I earn my wage and I feel safe this way. But they don't really want to explore more, or they're scared to quit the job and explore the world, explore other opportunities, other jobs, because they think, what if I don't find ever again something like this? That's why I'm happy that I tried so many things during my students' years, because now I know that if there's something you don't like, you can just quit and try something else. And if there's something you like, but you think there are better opportunities, you shouldn't be scared to quit. Because if you won't quit, you will stay in this situation forever. And later on in life, you will ask yourself, what if I would have tried something else? Would I have been happier in my life or not? So the jobs I tried were waitress, several different places. I also tried teaching language classes. So at my university, because I studied languages, there were other students that didn't study languages, but that also had like language courses during their degrees. And because those students weren't really specialized in languages, sometimes they needed like extra class or private language teaching class. So I signed up at my university to give online French courses to students. I'm really, really glad that I did this, because like now I know that, for example, teaching languages is more something that interested me instead of being a waitress, for example. I enjoyed teaching private language classes, but I know for sure that I don't want to do it for a living. But I do know that in the future I might give some other language classes, because I quite enjoyed it and I also learned a lot from it. So we have waitress language class. Then we also have street musician. Yes, I tried to be street musician. I still do it. How did I try this? Well, during my studies, I took a little break because I was studying so much that I was actually burned out and I needed a break. So I decided to go to the city I am now, to Valencia for a few weeks, and to just start living there for a few weeks, because I again was lost at that point in my life. I didn't know what to do. So I decided I was going to Valencia and that I would play music in the streets, just alone, without knowing anyone. At the time, I was a really scared person. I was really anxious, socially anxious. I was like, I'm so lost in life. What else can I lose? I've always wanted to try to play music in the streets, so why don't I just try it? I arrived in Valencia, and the next day I was like, today I'm gonna dedicate this whole day to just playing in the streets. So I went to the city and I started playing the flute, because I have been playing the flute for 14 years now, and I must say that it's really a passion of mine. So that day I started playing, and after 1 hour a guy comes up to me and he tells me, you would earn way more if you played in front of terraces instead of playing in this one fixed spot in the street. And I was like, okay, but I'm scared. Like, I cannot just go in front of a terrace and then ask for money like that, I'm too scared to do that. But he was like, no, just try it, you'll see. So what I did, I wasn't even prepared. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm here. I don't know anyone in this city. This is like another world to me, because if I were in my city in Belgium, I would have been too scared to do it. But I was like, let's just do it. So I started playing in front of a terrace. And of course, people were looking at me and I was looking at them. And after one song, I was like, okay, this was really, really scary, but it could have been worse. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna play a second song. I was still really scared. And then I played a third song and nothing happened. Some people clapped, some people just ignored me, but I was like, this is it. This is the experience. And then I went to the second terrace and to the third and the fourth. So I like playing music on the streets that much that I'm still doing it. So I've discussed 3 student jobs that I have tried. A fourth one might surprise you. During my studies, I was also thinking about what do I want to do later after my studies. And at the time, I was actually thinking about starting a cleaning business. So I decided to, during summer, I decided to do a job as a cleaner. I did it during 2 weeks, and of course, as you probably expected, I didn't like it. But what I did learn was to appreciate way more the people that work these jobs, because I realized how hard it actually is. So yeah, that was my third job. A fifth job, this is the last job I want to talk about, was a job as management assistant. I wanted to try out this job because my mom has been doing this job for over 30 years now. And she was like, just try it, maybe you'll like it. Well, I tried it for 1 month and I didn't like it because it's really an office job. What I did like was that you have a lot of communication between the employees, clients, your boss. Like, you're actually talking to people all the time. But the fact that you need to be in front of a computer during 8 hours a day, it's really a 9-to-5 job. I wouldn't want to work this job. I'm also really happy I had this experience. Now I know what I definitely don't want to do, and I actually know a little bit better what I do want to do. This video is for people who are lost in their 20s. I'm giving you this advice because I've been there too. I have to tell you that there's never going to be a point in life where you don't feel a little bit lost. Like, you're always going to think a little bit about, is this the best thing I could be doing right now? Or what do I want in 1 or 10 years? So what really helped me is gaining a lot of experience in different fields, just trying out so many different things until you find something you kind of like. After my studies, after I graduated at uni in Belgium, I was lost again. That's when I decided to go to Valencia again. During the first 2 months, I felt so lost. I didn't know what I want in life, but I started playing music on the streets again. And that kind of helped me get a structure in life. And then some amazing things happened. For example, I met many other musicians playing music in the street, because when you do something you like and when you do something you're interested in, you are gonna find other people that have the same interests. For me, finding people that have the same goals or same interests as me is something that really saved my life. I have met so many people with similar interests that now all of my hobbies, I can do them with friends. And what also is really curious is that surrounding you with people who have the same interests also keeps you motivated. So yeah, that's where I am right now. After a few months when I was in Spain, I decided I did want to study something more. And so now I'm actually studying a master's degree in audiovisual translation. I really like this study, even though it's pretty hard. Also because all of my classes are in Spanish. I'm not a native Spanish speaker. My life advice for you, if you're in your 20s and you feel so lost, just start doing things. Start doing things you hate, or start doing things that might interest you. Just start going out, start doing a student job, start studying something, start going to the gym. Just start without overthinking. By gaining all of this experience, you will see what works for you and what doesn't. And it doesn't matter if nothing works for you. You just have to keep on trying and keep on going out. Thank you so much for watching. I didn't plan to make this such a long video. So if you watched until the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And see you in the next video.